In today's video, we're diving into sleep and why it's actually super important for fat loss and body composition goals. And make sure you stay to the end because I'm going to give you my science-based strategies for perfect sleep. So can sleep directly affect fat loss? 100% it can, but it can also indirectly affect fat loss as well. Take your hunger levels, for example. It's pretty well documented that if we have a shit or limited sleep, that our hunger is going to skyrocket throughout the day. And we also tend to crave, sugary, salty foods, like a lot of junk food. Whereas if we have consistent good sleep, our satiety levels, which is basically how full we feel, are much more regulated throughout the day, even when we're dieting. So it's safe to say that indirectly, if you're feeling hungry all the time and feeling shit, the chances of you binging and consuming too many calories when you diet become a lot higher. Of course, we know hunger is a part of dieting. If you're never hungry at all, you're probably not in a deficit, but we want to try and minimize this as much as possible to promote as much fat loss as possible and stop you from wanting to binge and go over your calorie limit, which means the fuller we feel, the less we're going to crave shitty food like McDonald's on the way home, and we're going to be able to stay in our deficit longer and maximize our fat loss results. Now let's get into the good stuff. A study was done comparing two different groups of people looking to lose fat. They both had the same training program and followed a controlled calorie and protein diet. One group slept 5 hours per night. The other group slept 8 hours per night. The results are probably going to shock you. Despite both groups losing a similar amount of weight on the scale over the 8 weeks, the body composition results were completely different. The 8-hour group dropped a decent amount of body fat and also gained a bit of lean muscle, resulting in a really positive body recomposition. But the 5-hour group, despite losing weight on the scale, actually gained a little bit of body fat and lost a little bit of muscle. And that is two groups of people who have lost the same amount of scale weight. That is fucking wild and a big reason why sleep is so important. So yes, sleep really is that important when it comes to fat loss. Now, of course, we aren't discounting other things here. The calorie deficit is going to be your number one way to start losing body fat in the first place. So if you haven't got your fat loss calories, make sure you jump into the description below and grab yours. Now we need to pair these fat loss calories with some structured resistance training 3 to 5 times a week to build and retain your lean muscle mass, a step or an activity goal to keep your output at a certain level throughout the day. And now we want to pair that with good quality duration of sleep. So here's my essential sleep checklist for you. We want to be sleeping and waking at roughly the same time every single day. And yes, that includes weekends. So try and go within an hour of your sleep and wake time on every day. We want a cool, dark and quiet room, ideally 60 to 20 degrees with no noise, blackout blinds, and no distractions. We want to stop caffeine consumption at least 8 hours before bedtime. Most of you don't know, caffeine has a half-life, so 8 hours after you've ingested whatever amount of caffeine you have, there's still half of that left in your bloodstream, which could be a big reason why that's affecting your sleep if you're having coffees or energy drinks later in the afternoon and towards the night. So I recommend having your last caffeinated beverage at lunchtime latest to maximize those sleep benefits too. Whilst we're at it, alcohol is going to absolutely wreak havoc on your sleep, so I would recommend at least 3 to 4 hours before bed to stop alcohol, but ideally not at all. Blue light is a massive one. So if you're watching this late at night when you're about to go to sleep, make sure you're turning your screens off an hour or two before bed. If you can't do that, I recommend on the iPhone, going in and getting the night mode app or switching your iPhone to night mode. Not sure what it's like on Android. If you've got an Android, you're a bit weird. And on the Mac as well, there's an app called Flux. Basically, it'll turn the screen orange and stop that blue light from emitting. So that's going to not disrupt your sleep as much if you're on your technology right before bedtime. But ideally, of course, 1 to 2 hours before bed, turn your phone off, put it away, and focus on getting into a quality sleep routine. And lastly, eating at least 2 to 3 hours before bed. We want to make sure when we're sleeping, the body is rested and wants to actually go to sleep. So it's not trying to digest food and then try and go to sleep straight away, which is, again, going to affect your sleep. So if you implement these tips consistently, combined with your calorie deficit and activity goals, as well as your resistance training, you'll be well on your way to getting some perfect fat loss and body composition results. And as always, if you need more help, please reach out. We've got coaching, subscription options, and we have a free fat loss roadmap. So if you're interested, make sure you click the link in the description and go through that below. You'll get emails every few days on how to set up your training, your nutrition, your tracking, your sleep, your steps, and everything else you need to start losing fat straight away. In the next video, we're going to talk about training intensity and how we need to train in the gym. You're even going to see a few sets from me to see exactly how you need to train to change your body composition and lose more body fat. And lastly, make sure you subscribe and like the video. The more videos I can make for free, the more I'm going to be able to help you guys lose as much fat as possible. Until next time, peace.